Welcome to the last part of the weekend of Science 22. That is the week part 5. So in this, basically, we'll be learning drag and drop challenge. So how do you do drag and drop between elements? So in this, we are not dragging and dropping it from a downloaded folder or something. We have given 5 to 6 options in the screen only, so you can interchange the options or where their position. So yeah, so this is a dynamic task reordering. We have multiple tasks, and you can reorder that in real time. Now, let us jump into the code. So again, this information is the page heading, whatever the heading is, and then the small paragraph followed by the content section. So we have the image, etc. Here we have to have the mission reorder. So whatever mission is there, we can reorder that. The class name is right side, and the main class is container, and then the container ID is list container with the heading, and then we have the paragraph saying reorder the missions below by dragging into a preferred priority sequence. Now we have multiple classes with the same class name and draggable as true. This draggable should be true, so we have to ensure that this draggable is true and not false. And after that we have multiple options saying we have some 5 options of conduct study surveillance, support Dr. Corner's research, attend midterm science lectures, etc. We have this thing. We have to prioritize it in the required priority. Now then we have connected to script.js. So in this, the script.js is the most important part. So let us see that. So first thing is basically we are creating a constant of items where we select everything, all the items with the class name as item. So all these things we are selecting and storing it in the const items. Now after that we have a const container where it is gets all the element by id list container, which is again this one, list container id. After that we have a function. Basically it's not a function, it is basically looping to each and every item which can be drag and drop. And then we have a option for dragging. So when you click on that option and when you move, the dragging starts automatically. This is already predefined. And we have a drag start option. So this basically this is a function which starts when the item is starts dragging, and then we say add dragging. Now after that, when we stop dragging it, we remove the dragging option. That says the end of dragging. After that, now we are dragging it. Now we have to drop it. Just dragging won't do our job, so we have to drop it also somewhere. So then only it is drag and dropped. Now after that, if something is dragged over the container, then we say prevent default, because by default the system doesn't allow something to drop. It says now drop as false. Now for us to allow dropping, we have to make it into prevent default. So we have to prevent the default and we have to allow the dropping option. After that, how do we drop? So basically it is, we have to first identify the ID of what the element is being dragged now, whatever option is being dragged now, and then we have to see where it should be placed. So in that case, we have a const after element. So it says it checks the drag client.y. So basically it checks the how many places has it moved from the top. Now it says if there's no element below it. If there is no element below it, then it is in the appending it to the last of the list. If there is an element, and then we have to insert that before that element. So insert before that after let's say if this is the third element and we have the fourth element and second element. So in this, the after element is basically 2. So after 2, if you can place 3, which you are dragging now. After that, we have a function which helps to find where to drop the dragged item. Now, how do we find it? Is basically we have this. How do we insert? Now, how do we drop it? Now, how do we exactly identify where to drop it? Is in this one. So basically, this is a function called get drag after element. So here the input is basically mouse y, how much ever the cursor has moved from the top. And then we have to get one more const is basically get draggable elements. So basically draggable elements is in the form of array, and we are selecting whichever item is not being dragged. The one which is being dragged, we're not considering it. We're considering only the not being dragged items. And then we take all the elements whatever you say, the positions, and then we match it with the current position of the whatever the pointer is, and then we try whichever is the previous one, then we drop it after that. Now we have to loop through each and every draggable element and see. We have to find the offset. So how do we find the offset? Is basically we have to find the position of that particular element. Is basically we have a formula that is mouse y. What position from the top is the mouse in, and then the box of top, we have a box. I'll show you when I'm playing it, running it. We have a box, and then the box dot top minus box height, whatever height is there, divided by 2. So exactly in the middle. Let's say you have it, this is a middle, and you have it here. So it should go up. If you have it below, it should come down. You can't exactly have it in the middle. Now, see the formula. If the offset is less than 0 and offset is greater than the closest offset. So offset is basically the midpoint. If it is less than 0 and if it is greater than the closest offset, then the element becomes the child and the offset is basically positioned above it. Simple. Now let me run the program. Okay, so you can see this is the mission priority. So let me take the mentor Miles Morales. So when I click on this and when start, see, you can see this is being basically my dragging element. When I go here, you can see as soon as I touch the middle of this, it goes above. When I drop it, this is not yet touch the middle. So when I click on, see, when it somewhere crosses the middle of this, it automatically shuffles. When I click on this, see, this is exactly middle. As soon as I go little up, it automatically reshuffles it. So it is like, it is basically working on that formula which I said. So let me shift it to the first one. And now again the second one for the last one. You can see. So this is how it works. Let me click on submit. I hope you guys have understood the solution. If you have any doubts, let me in the comments below. I'll make sure I'll answer them all. Now, so all the test cases have passed, and that's it for this video and that's it for this weekend as well. If you have any doubts, then let me in the comments below. I'll answer them all. And if you want to practice more such problems or get yourself ready for interviews, then you can go pro on CodeChef and you can practice all these problems on CodeChef platform. So make sure you visit the CodeChef platform and give all these problems a try. And I'll see you in the next weekend, guys. Thank you for watching.